below the radar until you drive by them with that exhaust. You're joining me here, Mr. Nick Waller again. Last time we drove, we were in a Bentley 3-liter, and
we were. A fabulous day.
We're in an open top again today. We're in our 1960 Emory Roadster, which we just took delivery of about a month or so ago. This is actually my really first time driving this car.
Yeah.
If you recall, when we went to California in about June to shoot the videos at Jay's garage, we actually had the opportunity to see the car for the first time. Rod took me out in it. And,
now, was it pretty well finished then?
It was pretty much done. He was just putting his test driving miles on it, and he took me out in it, and I was smiling the whole time because this is right in my wheelhouse, as you very well know.
I think you're absolutely on the mark. To me, the 356 Speedster was like the ultimate period 356, and this really has so many echoes of that car.
Yeah. When we spoke when Rod was here, when we were doing a video with Rod, you mentioned you've never really even been in a 356.
I have to hold my hand up. I will admit to the world that the Porsches have passed me by. The 356, the 911s, they've all passed me by. So this actually right now is my first time in a 356.
It's incredible.
I know how I've escaped all these years. I don't know, but boy, oh boy, this is...
well, and of course, this is not just any 356.
Exactly.
With what Rod and the Emory Motorsports team does is, of course, they take a car, a body, a 356 that, is never going to be a Concours car. It's so far gone, and they save it.
Which is beautiful, which is actually fabulous. And I really applaud that movement in our hobby because a lot of cars will just get thrown away.
Exactly, and what they do is they make their version of their 356, their Outlaw, right? Yeah. So, just listen to that. Woo! So they make of course, Rod is specialized in taking a 911 engine, a 964 engine, essentially taking two cylinders off.
Right. So
a 4-cylinder 911 engine.
Right.
To make sure it still has that similar weight to the original motor.
Yeah.
To make sure the balance of the 356 remains to what it was originally. And now we have a 356 with 250 plus horsepower, and then of course the upgraded suspension brakes of that of a 911.
Yeah.
And what you get is a car, and their sort of family motto is modify everything but make it look like nothing's been modified.
Yeah.
You get a car that really looks like a factory Porsche, but you get the modern power, you get the braking, you get the performance, the feel of something that you'd get on the road today, which is just an absolutely incredible experience. It's one of my favorite things.
Well, this is one of the driving cars that you have to have on your list.
Yeah.
It feels so right. It feels like a new car, to be honest. The suspension, I understand, is adjustable.
That's correct. So
now we're going a little soft, which is nice.
So you can actually, that's exactly right. As the cars have evolved over time, they learn from every car that they make, and as of course technology gets better, they're able to apply that to their cars. So this car has a lot of unique things that our red car from 4 or 5 years ago doesn't have. Such as the adjustable suspension. This has the Carrera exhaust, or the Sebring exhaust, I should say, which is just sounds
it's like 4 into 1. It's gorgeous.
And we'll hear it in a little bit. We're not really on a road where we can accelerate, but the gearing is a little bit different in this car.
It's 4-speed.
It's a 4-speed, but the gears are a little bit longer than the red car. The red car is a little bit shorter gearing, so you're shifting. This just wants to go really do long pulls, going, and of course it's a Roadster, so it's a convertible. And
so what did it start out as? Do we know?
It was a 1960 Roadster.
Right.
And of course it evolved into this. The car was found in California, and I believe it was painted when Rod found it. It was like a pink color.
Oh goodness!
And of course, it's been painted in just a beautiful Albert blue.
Albert blue.
Albert blue.
I've never come across that. Is that where does that come from? It's a Porsche color. Is it a Porsche color?
Yeah, yeah. It's a Porsche color that you're still able to order today.
Yeah, and it's very pretty. And the color, I'm always a fan of dark blue cars with a tan interior. I think it works so well.
And I've never really been a cabriolet convertible person, but for me, and I think I told you this before we started filming, this is the current car in the collection. I think I would, if I had to, someone put a gun to my head and say you need to pick one car, I think this would be it, because it really checks the boxes.
You do know you said that about the Bentley.
I said that about the Bentley, yes, but we didn't have this car yet.
That's true.
But this always changes, as you know.
Well, that's the problem when people always say, oh, what's your favorite car? Well, things change, and one's taste changes.
And the reason being is, a lot of what I'm enjoying driving right now are experiential cars. Yeah. Cars that really give you that experience when you're driving it. You really feel like you did something, right?
Yes.
And this car, the noise it makes, the steering feel, just the comfort, but that performance to it, the way it looks, it really checks all the boxes for me. And
even after just 5-10 minutes, this is like an event.
Yeah.
And I think, wouldn't it be nice if every drive was like that?
We'll do a little pull here so you can really hear that exhaust. You get the pops.
That's all you need.
And he actually had to baffle it a little bit because it was too loud.
I think that's the wonderful thing about what Emory does, is that you can really choose the sort of car you want. And I think as it's being built, I think he encourages owners to sort of really get involved in the design, in the planning, in the building. Does sound good, Sean. Good use of synchromesh too.
It's a good car. This is a good car. Do you get it?
So, do you like this car or not?
This is, and I joke around. Obviously, Rod, we had about a month ago at our Concours.
Yeah.
Rod had their reunion of cars, about 20 or so cars.
Wasn't that fabulous?
It was fabulous.
To see the variety, that was the thing.
And the evolution.
What a beautiful road. I say that every time. What a beautiful day. This is November, the middle of November. And it's a beautiful day to be in Newport.
You were hitting on it a little bit earlier, and the great thing when you order one of these cars, when you really, Rod knows and gets to learn and understand what the customers want.
Yeah.
And he kind of just does his thing a little bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of little details are added to the car that he may not tell you about until you take delivery, and it just adds that extra, that extra thing that you don't get that with many brands, or
not at all.
Even when you buy a custom car or whatever.
I think that's what really struck me when I met him, when I was talking to him in October, was how passionate he is about the cars that he built. And he said what I was imagining was that each of these cars is like one of his children.
Yes.
And I think it meant an awful lot to him. I'm very pleased about was when we all got the cars together, and it was one of the largest gathering of Outlaws I think that's ever been.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that. It is very tractable too. The longer gearing it just wants to just drive, doesn't it? You want those
It
long
wants to
open
go.
roads.
Long open roads,
Yeah.
cruising roads.
I'm thinking a Colorado Grand or a big event like that, a big touring event. This would be the perfect car.
Yeah.
What do Porsche aficionados make of the whole Outlaw thing? I mean, is it welcomed into the Porsche world or what?
It has taken time. Rod and his family will talk about it all the time, that they were always not allowed into the shows. They're not concours cars or whatever they may be. But with time, the cars obviously, they've built a reputation, and the product speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And other brands have kind of followed suit with the Singers, the Gunther Works.
Well, there are so many now, and
Yeah,
not just Porsches, in all different marks.
The Emorys have been essentially customizing cars the 4 generations since Porsche has been a brand.
Yeah.
So they've kind of grown with the brand as well. Rod has a very close relationship with Porsche as well.
Yeah.
Does a lot of their classic metal fabrication and assists in any way. He's a true Porsche enthusiast.
Yes. He's earned his medals. He's earned his the right.
And the fabrication that they're doing out of their shop is,
and he's done it with great affection, I think, and respect for the mark.
Right.
And I think that was probably important.
So you kind of have those two groups of, why would you ever do that to a car, or Porsche already makes the perfect car, whatever it may be. But the reality is, like we were saying, is these are cars that they're being saved.
Yeah.
They also do restorations.
Yes.
Our Super 90 that they restored was a great example of a car that they completely restored. They did not make it an Outlaw. Brought it back, used all the original components.
But I think that's
car.
the thing. I mean, it's the same question you have when you have a preservation car that you need to care for and look after.
Right.
Whereby, if you've gone beyond that stage, then it needs a restoration. Or, if it's right and you're willing to do it, you want to do it, to create a car just like this.
Exactly.
Which is a...
And the thing is too, it's, this is a 356. If Porsche were to make a car today, this is how they would do it, right?
I think
that's kind of the idea as well. Taking the modern technology, using the modern components from a 964 engine, and applying it to a great foundation.
Yeah.
So first time driving a 356.
First time, it feels... The steering is very precise.
Oh yeah.
There's no wiggle room. Oh, it does feel nice.
It's a good car. Just the feel.
It's a great drive already.
Yeah, you've driven 100 yards and you can already tell.
The steering is absolutely tight.
Yeah.
There's no swaying. Not a lot of feel.
This is a...
Oh, wait a minute, there we go. It was a very smooth ride. Interestingly, it does feel like a new car.
Yes.
Which it is.
It is.
How many miles has it done? 245 miles.
Yeah, Rod typically will put around 200 miles on a car before delivering it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we just took delivery of it, so we haven't... This is probably the most it's been driven so far, but beautiful day for it. And as I was saying, I'm at the phase in my life, if you will, where the next time I buy a car that's not a family-oriented car, it's going to be an experience car. It's
you have to.
Car that I'll take out for an hour or two.
That's all you need.
And obviously, I don't have the ability to afford this car at the moment, but this is a car that I aspire to own, and something that I would, like I was saying earlier, this is one of the cars I think that will stick with me for a while. That's part of the collection.
I think that's, out of all the cars that you drive that we have in the collection, it's always very interesting to see how they shift.
Yeah.
And some cars come up and some cars come down. And it's not just the new ones that come on.
No, the
that
new
you're
ones.
excited about.
It's funny how that changes because the newer cars, the newer supercars, the newer modern cars.
Yeah.
I have more fun driving this at 50 miles an hour than I would, that modern Ferrari at 120 miles an hour. And for the island, it doesn't get much better than something like this.
Oh. It really just wants to get up and go. I keep saying that. And I want to get up and go with it.
Yeah. So my next purchase is going to be a Porsche hat for you.
It's got to be.
You're going to slowly turn into a Porsche. And the more we drive, the more Porsches I'm going to keep sliding into there.
You're working on me. The last car, the GT3 RS that was the last Porsche I drove, actually taught me a lesson not to be so snobby and not to be too. I need to open my mind to Porsche world. Yeah. This is the other extreme.
Well, we've said it before. It's it's almost annoying how good of a car they make.
Well, Porsche all this has been the obvious choice if you're having a classic, if you want to enjoy your driving, and I get that.
Yes.
I do like quirky things. I like quirky cars and different cars. And this to me just sort of does have that. It answers both questions. Try not to redline it.
Sorry?
I'm trying not to redline it. It just wants to though.
It's about a 6,600 red line.
But it's not about thrashing it. Although the noise kind of encourages you to.
Exactly. But the noise is at, 30 miles an hour, you get that amazing exhaust note.
Yeah. I could very happily do long mileages in this.
Oh, yeah.
It's comfortable. It's fun. The view over the bonnet, the hood, is a delight.
Yep. The windshield's the perfect height.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very well thought.
How many cars have you driven where the height of the windshield is just on your eye line? And you're either doing this or you're doing this.
They're mostly British cars.
I was waiting for that. You're probably right, and I'm not going to deny it.
Well, I'm excited, as you drive more cars with us, I'm excited to really get your take on. I know you've driven a lot of cars, but our collection cars specifically.
Exactly. I mean,
because a lot of them are unique, and I always love to hear people's different perspectives on all the different cars.
In my mind, I'm out in California, I'm out on long, windy, empty roads.
Yes. And the nice part is, too, with this, is most people won't look at it, right? You could get away with people who know what it is. But for the most part, people will just see a pretty blue car, right?
Yeah.
And you can park it in a parking lot. Yeah.
I'm very...
That's what I mean.
You want to be below the radar.
You're below the radar until you drive by them with that exhaust. Do you like it?
I love it.
Isn't it good?
I really like it.
This is honestly one of my top.
This really is.
Because it's just like you can enjoy it.
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean?
Gearbox is slightly annoying. It's a little vague.
Not for me.
Oh, come on. Okay, serious question. Are all 356 gearboxes as loose as that? It feels very vague. It's
the original feel. It's a, you're driving a Porsche. That's the thing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it has a similar feel to an original 356. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a complaint. Yes, tootling around at this sort of speed, we're doing. Well, I'm not going to say we're doing around 30.
Yeah, we're doing 35, 40.
It's very drivable and very tractable,
absolutely.
and you could use this all day long.
This is a car you could quote unquote daily drive.
I know,
right?
Everybody says that sort of thing,
But
this
you
is
literally
seriously-
could.
Yeah, be very happy to commute in this.
It's got a modern stereo system that you can't even see.
Oh, it has.
So when you turn the car on, you just connect it right away on your phone on Bluetooth. It's hidden.
Yeah.
So if you want to listen to music or anything,
Yeah.
you just put it right on your phone. You don't see anything.
It's so funny. There's so many people, the purists of whatever mark,
Yep.
and they get all uptight about all that. But you know, in this day and age, if you can do it tastefully,
Absolutely.
a very serious high-end collector that I know very well has an amazing collection, pre-war cars, post-war cars, a lot of pre-war stuff, a lot of coach-built French cars, Bentleys. He has a digital stereo system put in almost every car he has,
And then you don't see
but
it,
it's
right?
tucked up underneath the dashboard.
Yeah. Well, there's no
Yeah, you can't
display.
see it.
There's nothing. You can't even select
Yeah.
anything. You would think it's just part of the car.
Yeah. And I get that. But the purist would have a little palpitations.
Yeah. So when are you ordering your Emory?
Right now. Get me up, get the phone, connect the phone to Bluetooth, get onto Rod. But rather like you, I am a coupe guy too.
Yes, but this is just for the island for what we're doing.
I know.
Perfect.
You want two, that's the thing.
Yeah,
You gotta have
that's
two.
the truth.
Well,
I'm glad I was able to join you, breaking you into your Porsche 356s.
it's been wonderful.
Please don't forget to subscribe and join us for more videos like this, and please like the video as well.
You heard it here first.